Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Thinking Hard, and this is my first podcast. I am going to talk about World of Warcraft and StarCraft and stuff. Probably. It's all improv. I don't have anything written down, and so that means you should probably leave now, because it's going to suck. Anyway, about World of Warcraft. PvE, PvP. Which do people prefer to listen to? I'm not sure. I'm not sure because there can be several different things happening. This could be a podcast where I talk about the strategies for heroic Firelands boss fights, and people who haven't done them yet, or guilds who are still struggling on them, might want to, their guild leader might want to listen to this as he's driving to work or driving back from work, preparing for the raid, listen to someone be like, okay, and so what you need to do is blah, blah. But no, we're not going to do that because that would be totally boring. Duh. No, we're going to talk about PvP and how stupid it is. Rawr. An angry paladin. What of it? So, yeah. PvP is really fun. Actually. Yeah, I just called it stupid. Canceling out that negative with the positive. What do you want? So, it's really fun, and it probably showcases some of the best of players. If you get what I'm saying, you buying what I'm selling? No? Maybe? Let me explain. Okay. In PvP, a lot of the time, you're sitting there, and you're put into a situation where you're no longer thinking. You're just reacting to what's happening around you, and you somehow manage to do something phenomenally amazing. This has happened to probably everyone. I mean, it doesn't even really matter how bad you are. Eventually, you are going to have a good moment. Sure, if you're really good, they'll have it more often than not. But for the most part, they don't happen, an insanely frequent amount of time. But I'm not really about the fights that last 5-10 minutes, maybe even like 2 or 3, where you just go in, you plow over people. I'm all about the fights that you're sitting in AV and you have no fucking clue what anyone else is doing, or even better, you're sitting in Warsong Gulch and you're just over by the enemy's graveyard, killing them as they respawn, because this is a tactic I like to do, because it's really fun. So I'll showcase this tactic, just because it's really good to talk about, and it ties in with my point. So what you do is, off the bat, you send like 4-5 people straight to their graveyard. That's all they do, is they just cut up around, go straight to their graveyard, and sit there. Alright. From here, amazing things happen. One, what you're mainly banking on from here is that your teammates, the remaining 6 on your team, get 1 kill. Okay. It happens. You're camping 1 guy now for pretty much all eternity. He spawns, you just obliterate him with stuns. Now, what happens most of the time, your team gets another kill. Now you're camping 2 people. You're having lots of fun. And they're probably getting pissed. So they're probably starting, they're no longer thinking about running away, because they actually just want to kill you. That's all they want anymore. They don't want to win. They don't care about losing. They just want to kill you. They don't care what it costs. They're willing to even shred parts of their soul off just to watch you die. And then you have 4 of them there. And now it's a 4-on-4. And while it seems fair, you're a coordinated group. You guys know what's going on. You all came prepared with, 3.5k resilience. Maybe only 3.3k. Maybe you're going for a more damage build with your gear. And swapped out for a few PvE items. Doesn't really matter. So, you do what you're doing. You have decent resilience. You have a good healer with you. 3 DPS, 1 healer. So now it's 6 Horde versus 6 Horde out on the actual battlefield, and 4 versus 4, 6 Horde versus 6 Horde. 6 versus 6 out on the actual battlefield, Horde and Alliance. Horde and Alliance, not 6 versus... Made a mistake. Must kill myself now. But I'll do it after the podcast. So anyway, 6 versus 6 out in the field, getting the flags. 4 versus 4 out by the graveyard. Another Horde dies. Now it's 5 versus 4. You've been fighting for probably 5 minutes now. Maybe 6. Alright, I'll give you that. Maybe it's 6 minutes. So now it's 5 versus 4. Now they have a numbers advantage. But still, you're feeling pretty confident. Your healer is really freaking good. I mean, wickedly good. Like, wow. How have you guys not died yet? This has just been constant battle. How is he not... Wow, he still has like 80% mana. This guy's... I like this healer. Part of it's because these DPS are really good. They're not really letting the enemies do too much damage, allowing that healer to pretty much stay cost efficient. Another Horde dies. 6 versus 4. Things are getting a little sketchy, but fortunately, your DPS are good. I mean, they're really good. Bodies are flopping. They even have like 1 or 2 healers, but man, those DPS, like I said, they're really fucking good. And those blinds and repentances and counter spells, they're just flying out at just the right time. So, you're sitting there, and you're fighting, and it's like 7 versus 4 by now. And you've been fighting for a solid 11, 12 minutes, maybe even 15. Maybe even 15, I'll give you that. Your healer, God. He's laughing, but at the same time, I mean, you're all laughing. I mean, this is fucking fun, because this is fucking hard, man. I mean, 7 versus 4, it's getting rough. But you're all laughing, because holy shit, how are you still alive? Another Horde dies. 8 versus 4. God damn it. Now you're pretty much silenced and stunned a lot. I don't even know how at this moment, but somehow you're still alive. Finally, one of the Alliance has found where all the Horde disappeared to. And so now it's 5 versus 8. Something like that. But, so, you got another guy. Unfortunately, he's a DPS, so now it's 4 DPS and 1 healer. That healer is now just even more stressed. But damn, does he know his shit? Or she. It might be she. She could know her shit just as well. And, you've been fighting now. Good 18 minutes. Another Horde dies. The Horde really have, like, no one left on their team. They have 9 people at their graveyard. You have 5. You're fighting now against 9/10 of the Horde force in Warsong Gulch. You've been fighting for a good 20 minutes, because Warsong Gulch only lasts 25 minutes now. Unless I'm mistaken, in which case, fuck you guys. I don't care. So, you've been fighting this entire time against massive odds for the most of it. You're all still alive. No one truly knows how this has happened. No one really knows. I mean, you're just assuming. I mean, the healers mentioned it before. I mean, like 1 or 2 of those DPS, they just hit 85. They're in blues. Their weapons might even be greens, for Christ's sake. They don't really do that much damage. I mean, the biggest crit you've seen out of one of them has been like 8k, 9k. So you're fairly solid on those guys. So, you know, I mean, in all fairness, it's really more of a, 7 versus 4. Well, about 7 versus 5, because that other DPS came. But, I mean, he's not the best, but he's not the worst. So, you're at this point in time where your entire group is actually pretty wiped out, physically and mentally. I mean, damn. You didn't really expect them to be, good. But, for the most part, they are. But you're good too. Just happen to be better. Not that much, but enough that you're still fucking alive. That's all that matters right now. And you're still going at it. And then your healer, or even one of your DPS, is just sitting there, and everyone hears the same thing in their heads, all at the same time, but one person says it. What the fuck is the rest of our team doing? How have we not won this yet? And it's at that moment that my team won the match. Yes, true story, ladies and gentlemen. Holy shit, I was that healer, and damn, that was a badass battleground. That was amazing. And that's what I was talking about. That is the type of PvP that is phenomenal. That's what I would want to watch. I don't really watch World of Warcraft PvP videos. I don't find them entertaining, really, that much. I feel like they're all pretty much the same. They're not like shooter or StarCraft matches, where shooter and StarCraft matches, they're commentated, and for the most part, StarCraft, it's slow, so in the beginning, the commentator's job is to provide some entertainment and tell, or maybe speculate on the possible builds, what they're doing wrong and right. But for the most part, in the first 2 minutes, they're just providing entertainment, until things start moving along. Then things start moving along, and they're just, because it gets pretty freaking intense, and it gets to a point where they're just like trying to catch up to the action. Shooters, dude, really, shooter commentary, that shit is not bad. Because, God, the action is constant. What do you want from them? They don't have time to provide you with witty jokes if they're doing their job right, because, damn, that voice, it's really nice to listen to. God, that voice is nice to listen to. I like to listen to that voice. It's clear and constant, and it's going, and he's following the action. You can hear him getting excited, but he's not really, overextending. He's excited, and he's passionate about what he's talking about, and you're feeling it, and the energy is just in the air, and you're watching it, and you're pulling these strategies that he's talking about, and you're trying to log them into your mind, and you're watching what these players are doing, and it's just constant, and it's fun. And then you get to World of Warcraft. And this is what happens. You start up the video, you see the colors, you understand what class it is, probably because the thing has, epic mage, rank 1 mage gameplay, and for the most part, not commentated at all. So, I'll give you an example of a commentated one, and I'll give you an example of an uncommented one. Here's one that was commentated by a mage. He was in, Skype or Vent, I'm guessing Skype, with, 2 other people. We're owning them. Oh my god, I one-shot that guy. That was amazing. I almost one-shot. I one-shot him. Stop stealing my kills. Blah, blah, blah. And it wasn't loud. It wasn't clear. The audio quality was terrible. But, look at that mage. He's in full Ruthless? Ruthless. He's in full Ruthless. And the people in the battleground, not so much. So, they're getting hit with 48Ks from his shatter combos. 48K plus 50K equals dead person most of the time. So, that's one example. Here's another example. Let's say it's like a rogue or a warrior video or something like that, and it's just the title is something catchy, warrior rogue manages to take out, massive amounts of people in the battleground. So you're like, wow, that's pretty interesting. How do you do it? Did he go in there? Did he know that, okay, I'm gonna have the most trophy from this person, so I'm gonna blind them, finish off this person, go into vanish, cheap shot that person, and quickly take him out. Then I'm going to pop this cooldown and this cooldown just so I can survive while I'm taking out that guy. That's what you hope the video is going to be like when you open it. And then you open the video. No one likes death metal. Please take it off your videos. Please. I don't. No. Just no. Fuck. Just. I'm gonna have an aneurysm. That's what I'm gonna have. I just listened to that video, and my ears are bleeding. It was decent gameplay, I'll admit. I'll admit that that was some decent gameplay. But the music was so bad that even after I muted it, I just didn't like it. It left a bad taste in my mouth, and it just... all I could think about was that music every time I watched you do something, even if it was an amazing something. It was just like, you just filled this up with extremely loud, annoying music. Why? What was the purpose? So that's a World of Warcraft PvP video for you. Not my kind of PvP video. Hopefully, if I get into doing PvP scenes, and I'll probably want to showcase mostly me doing amazing things, so it actually can take a few days just to get some amazing gameplay. I mean, I've gone like, I don't know, a week straight of like pure PvP where I didn't capture anything interesting at all. And I was just like, you know what? This kind of sucks. And it always happens where I'm not recording, I'm just relaxing and playing video games with, playing World of Warcraft and doing some PvP with, like, one of my best friends, and out of nowhere, we get stuck in this amazing situation. And at the end of that, I'm smiling, I'm like, oh my god, that's gonna make such a great video. Oh. Fucking didn't. Gah. Why didn't I capture this? Why? No. And then you have PvP people. Or, blah. PvE people. PvE people. Really? Really, you guys? Okay. Shadow Priest. I realize you just hit 85. I mean, I'm trying to understand what you're talking about, but, why do you have Fluid Death and License to Slay as your trinkets? Please tell me. I really want to know. The only thing I can think of is because you just hit 85, you feel like you need a massive amount of hit, and so you spent your stuff on those trinkets for their hit, not their agility and strength. I'm really hoping you didn't buy them just because you liked the names of the trinket. And, I mean, looking over your gear, I'm seeing blue, 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 green, green. I mean, it's all like level 80, 82 crap. Did you not pick anything up while leveling? Nothing useless? Or useful, rather? Wow, that kind of sucked, but, you know. I was with you until I saw those trinkets, and it was like, you know what? I understand being 85, just hitting it, but why those trinkets? Are you, like, what message are you trying to convey? I'm too pro to be smart? Ah, a glass of water is delicious. Well, actually, the water inside the glass is delicious. But, you know, if I was into eating glass, that would be a sexy freaking treat right there. What are you eating? A glass of water. So you're drinking water? No, I'm eating the glass, goddammit. This glass is delicious! So, anyway. To you PvEers, who, you know, you're really casual. You only play, I mean, you pretty much only played to level up. You're having fun leveling up. I mean, yeah, you thought World of Warcraft was supposed to be an MMO, and you pretty much spent the entire time leveling up by yourself. Really wasn't that much fun. I'm with you. And you get into that group, and you're polite. That's what's starting to piss me off. It's like, you're a nice person. And I'm not a nice person. But I'm I'm an asshole to other assholes. I'm decent, and I try to stay polite to nice people, because nice people are nice. I tried to be nice. I really did. It didn't work out. Me and nice, we just don't get along. So, I just embrace my inner asshole. It's true. But I don't like being mean to nice people. I really honestly hope you can stay nice. But why could you not look up how to play your fucking character for 2 fucking seconds? I mean, God, it doesn't take that long to even just find your best stats and get the startings of a rotation. This is how much you guys annoy me, is I just sat there choking on my tongue for a good solid 8 seconds of trying to form those words, but they're not happening. No. Badness. Badness all around. So, people, please, DPSers, healers, tanks, look, well, healers, this doesn't apply to you, but tanks and DPS, look up your god-forsaken rotations and try them out on the dummy. 30 minutes. It's not going to kill you. It will not kill you. Try that rotation out for 30 minutes. I mean, after 30 minutes, you should have that rotation pretty much down. Invest in Recount and Deadly Boss mods. Now, before I go too far, you do not need Recount or Deadly Boss mods. I just successfully took out 4 heroic bosses the other day in Firelands. Heroic Shenax, Lord Realith, Alice Razor, and Balrog. I had no add-ons whatsoever. Nothing. Not one. Okay? You do not need add-ons to play this game. I had to ask people, how am I doing compared to others? Because I didn't know. I didn't have the meters. But I'm an old-timer playing this game. I might be 19, almost 20. You know, pretty close. Me and 20, we're almost close enough to get a little personal there, you know. I mean, there's obvious details are forming. I mean, you can see, and damn. I mean, 20 is, look at her. I mean, look at 20, damn. You can see her. I mean, you're fairly close. You're not close enough for anything too personal. I mean, you can't really, you know, go in for that first kiss. But, I mean, you can look and you can still talk. And she's into you. And she's, you know, giggling at your jokes. You know, you're really feeling that vibe. I mean, it's pretty strong. And, I mean, your smile is, like, so huge. Because you're like, I'm really feeling this. This is really nice. What was I talking about before this? I think I was talking about rotations. I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, look up your rotations, and you'll be fine. Healers, look up your best stats, and look up what's efficient to use and what's inefficient to use. And don't try to use only your efficient heal. There's a reason you have inefficient heals. They're not there for bad players. They're there for, well, put in that situation, I need to use that heal. Trust me, it sucks to blow through that much mana, but what sucks worse? Having 80% mana when the tank dies, or having 10% mana when the tank dies, so it looks like you actually did something with your life. I don't know what's with healers. Honestly. I might just be an elitist prick who's actually pretty fucking good at this game, but when I was leading my own guild, and I was forced to switch from tank to healer because of a lack of healers, and a massive amount of tanks in the guild, I had quest and dungeon. Well, actually, I had dungeon only. I had gotten to a point where I didn't have any quests. But I had full dungeon holy gear that was pretty much fully gemmed and enchanted. I never really expected to go holy, but since I played holy for the first 4 years of this game, and then tank for the next 2, I knew I was a good healer, and that, there might be a situation where because I anticipated this. I was like, I don't want to, but if I need to, I want to have the ability to. So I switched out into my PvP healing spec, and I put on my gear, which was actually, because I looked it up after I had to go healer, I somehow managed to get best in slot dungeon gear. Yep. I just picked stuff that, like, with my rudimentary knowledge of paladin stats for healing, I just picked stuff that looked like it was pretty darn good, and somehow managed to pick best in slot everything. Yeah, you can say I was pretty psyched about that. But what I was not psyched about was my first night healing. I managed to out-heal all of our guild healers at a level that made them look pathetic. Healers, learn your role. But that's enough of World of Warcraft. I mean, you can only talk about World of Warcraft for so long before it gets a little dull. I mean, yes, I do have a way of talking about things, and by the way, everything, if I haven't said it, I might have. I'm not sure, I can't remember, but if I haven't said it, everything I'm saying tonight, total improv. I don't have anything written down. And by the way, yes, it's tonight for me. I don't have anything written down. That's not how I do things. I don't want to have anything written down. I want this to come to you raw. I want you to get what I'm thinking of right now. That's when the best conversations happen. The best conversations don't happen when you have 3 guys who spent, 30 minutes before they started recording going over what they're going to talk about in the podcast and who's going to go first and just stuff like that. Like, just sitting there with a giant list. Okay, we're going to talk about this, and then from there we're going to move on to this, and then, hey, Joe, you're going to make that segue. You know the segue I'm talking about? Okay, you don't know? Okay, well, we're going to go from topic 2 to topic 3, but we're going to go from that when you build the segue. We need the segue to go to topic 3, and I'll introduce the beginnings of that segue with this comment, and then you take it and you do it here. It's going to be really funny because they're going to think, wow, he just thought of that. Okay? Remember that. Write that down on your list. All right. You got it written down? All right. Okay. Now, James, what I need you to do is when we're done with topic 3, I need you to start talking about topic 4, but introduce it like this. And then you're listening to the podcast. And yeah, it's a good podcast, but you can tell it was rehearsed. I mean, if you're really good at listening, you can tell it was rehearsed. It's like, come on. Why did you rehearse that? It's just not fun. Besides, in a rehearsal, I'm not sure if they stop for glasses of water. That delicious glass. It tastes like sand. Delicious. So anyway, let's talk about... Well, we can talk about my second most played game, StarCraft. I'm not sure if that's my first or second anymore. But StarCraft, yes. I want to do a series that is about cheese, and it's not Cheese Fails. It's kind of like Maximus Black's Say Cheese series. Say Cheese with Maximus Black. Great series. If you don't know who Maximus Black is, then you probably don't know who Lag TV is. Well, what Lag TV is. Who Lag TV is 2 people. And if you're into StarCraft and you don't know what Lag TV is or who Lag TV is, well, you're the devil and you should die. Because Nova War has perhaps one of the sexiest voices a man can possibly have. Honestly, I could listen to that voice all day long. No subs. I mean, sure, I've forced a few people to listen to that voice, and they'd be like, I don't know about all day long. A few hours, yeah. I mean, I could listen to that for a few hours. But me, I'm like, what do you mean a few hours? A few hours cannot be the amount of time you listen to that voice. Listen to that voice again, goddammit. That's Nova War. That is Nova War. Listen to that voice. He's like, with and all over the place. And it is just an amazing assortment of just, that tone. Anyway. Nova War. But back to what I was saying. Lag TV, Cheese Fails, Say Cheese with Maximus Black. It's a series, Say Cheese with Maximus Black is a series where Maximus Black plays StarCraft on the 1v1 ladder, and Nova War tells him, I want you to cheese in this way. And Maximus Black goes, okay, I'll make that happen. And he tries it, and he gives her what he can give her, gives her all that he can give her, and sometimes he wins, and he cheeses that person, and they get cheesed by the cheeser, and there's just cheese everywhere. And then Nova War spends the entire time laughing and pointing out blatantly obvious things and making fun of Maximus Black and hazing Maximus Black. And then when Maximus Black loses, Nova War laughs even harder. And it is a really fun series. And then they also do their cheese fails. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to copy them. That's their unique thing. It's what made that channel, is the cheese fails. And it's really hilarious. I love to watch it. And while I would love to do something similar, I'm not going to. I don't want to just blatantly rip that off. Like, my cheese series, what I want to do is unique cheeses. Like, epically unexpected cheeses. Things you do not see ever on the ladder. Excuse me. Thank you. Okay. Just had to clear my throat of all that semen. Because I'm sucking cock all day long. Spilled that water out on my shirt. Feels good. Feels good, bro. But what I mean is, think of a cheese that you have seen once or twice. Maybe in a video, but you've never actually seen it on the ladder. That would be the kind of cheese that I just bring into you and swirl inside you, and you and the cheese become one, and I totally just made a mistake with words and went with it. So, stuff that is completely unexpected. Like, you go into my base, you're scouting out, you see a gateway, and you're like, okay, this is decently timed. He could be going 4-gate, he could be going 3-gate robo. I'll prepare for both contingencies. And then out of nowhere, you have Phoenix in your base lifting up your workers and just going choo 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 choo, because it's so funny to beat on people with Phoenixes, unless they're Terran and they have 500 Marines, in which case I hate Terran. But when I'm cheesing, see, the reason I want to do this series is I don't think I can manage to play at a professional level. No, stay with me. I think I could play at a professional level, but I don't think I could play at a professional level and not rage, like, insanely hard. Like, at every mistake, I would just, like, lose my mind. Like, oh my god, I'm in fucking Masters, I'm losing this fucking horseshit, what the fuck is wrong, blah, 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 F-word everywhere, blah. Whereas, if I go in there and it's like, okay, I'm going to cheese them, and my cheese fails, I'll just be like, so, I came here to cheese you, and I did. I annoyed the piss out of you, and that's all that matters. Even if you just countered me and made me look like a total little bitch, I don't care. Really. I cheesed you. I accomplished my goal. I didn't win, but I still accomplished my goal. I'm happy at the end of the day. Can you say the same? You won, but at the end of that win, you punched a baby. Don't lie. I know you did. You went straight into the other room, down the hall, down the staircase, out the front door. You went down the block. You made a left-hand turn. You then knocked on your friend's house. You then asked him if he knew where any babies were. He told you that his neighbor has a baby. New baby. It's not, the prettiest thing in the world, but then again, pretty much all babies are kind of ugly, in my opinion. I don't get the whole, babies are so cute thing. It's just not something I see. But, so anyway. And you say to him, thank you. Thank you for telling me where this baby is. And by now, a normal person, their rage would have played out. They would have been like, you know what? It's not that big of a deal. I mean, I don't even, whatever. I'm out here. I took a walk. It helped. It helped a lot. But no, that's not what you do. You knock on that door and you say, ma'am, my friend is your neighbor and I heard that you just got a baby. May I congratulate you on this? And this lady is so proud. She's like, oh, thank you. Me and my boyfriend, I mean, we really wanted to have a kid, and, it's just a beautiful son. And you're like, oh, well, can I see him? And she's so proud. She, takes you to the cradle, and he's just laying there, and he's sleeping, and, I mean, he's wrapped up, and you can tell that, this couple loves this child, and they're giving everything they have to this child. They've planned for it appropriately. This is not a mistake. This is something special. And you look down at that baby, and then you look into the mother's eyes. Then you look down at the baby again, and you go, thinking's hard, you're a fucking bitch! And you just punch that baby as hard as you can, and there's blood and there's guts everywhere. And then you just walk out and go home. Have a juice box. Because that's what juice boxes are for. Amazing things. So that's what I would want to do with my cheese. Wow! Took that so far. I cannot. Well, I'm sorry. I have to laugh. I know it's horrible to laugh at your own jokes. But gosh. And that wasn't even really a joke. That just went on forever. I'm happy with it. That is my love child. That was punched in the face. No. I don't have a girlfriend. And, I'm still a virgin. So, take my love advice. No, seriously, take my love advice. Don't ask me why. I can give you the best advice in the world. You come up to me with a love problem that is just like mind-boggling. You take it to a psychiatrist and they pretty much tell you, you're shit out of luck, dude. I have no fucking clue what you should do in this situation. You take it to me, and I'd just be like, here's a simple sentence. Here's what you gotta do. And it would work. And you'd be like, God, you're like a fucking love sensei or something. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And then they're like, you must get all the ladies. And I'm like, no, I don't even get one lady. And they're like, how does this happen? How have you not managed to get one lady? And I'm all like, beats me. I'm gonna go play World of Warcraft. Oh my god! Epiphany! That was for all the people who hate World of Warcraft. But seriously, if you hate World of Warcraft, how'd you manage to get this far into the podcast? What the fuck's wrong with you? The first 28 minutes were nothing but World of Warcraft. Why are you here? So anyway, I want to do that. I also want to finish up my campaign of StarCraft 2 on brutal difficulty and my Let's Play of Fable, The Lost Chapters. My thoughts so far on each. Well, StarCraft campaign is just like any other real-time strategy campaign. It's kind of boring, and you just kind of go through situations that you wouldn't go through in multiplayer, so it's really not that amazing. I mean, using the Marines to stutter step pretty much, is something that the brutal AI is not really made to defend, so they're just like, ow, all the Marines. Ugh. Marines are everywhere. So, yeah, that happened. And then Fable, meh. Not really, I'm not really sure yet. I mean, I'm having a decent amount of fun, but, I mean. How many times can I say I mean before I finally get to the fucking point? I'm not sure, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not so sure yet. I'm having fun, it's alright, but some things are just quirky or something. They're just not working out for me, I guess. But moving on. Another game I play, League of Legends. So, I play Heimerdinger because I'm a fucking dickhead. And I play games not to win, but to make other people not have fun winning. And you don't have fun winning when you're playing against a Heimer, especially when you're playing against a Heimer who knows what he's doing, and it gets to a point where whenever I must be like naturally good at games, because I get to a point in almost every game that I play that if I'm in the same match for any length of time, or like say it's a small community and everyone gets to know pretty much everyone, they see me and it's like a massive horde of people just appears and makes me hate life, because I'm just like, oh my god, that was bullshit. 10 versus 1, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Or in League of Legends, it's just like any team fight, 5 people appear out of nowhere and just dominate me. Well, in a team fight, 5 people won't appear out of nowhere, but they're like all focus on me, and it's like, you know what? You're only focusing on me because if you don't, I would literally destroy all of you. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah. I know that makes sense, but I'm still angry about it. Give me a second to stop the podcast. I need to just tell someone I'm doing a podcast, and so I can not really play with him right now. Yes, I play with the boys all the time. We went over this earlier with the sperm and mouth thing. All that sperm. Delicious. Yeah, I'm comfortable with my sexuality. Hey, Dean. About that whole not having a girlfriend thing, I think I found a reason. No, I'm not gay. Fuck you. Delicious water is delicious. And I'm gonna say that every time I take a drink of water. Every goddamn time I take a drink of water, you're gonna hear delicious water is delicious. Just putting that out there. So, what else is there? League of Legends. Heimerdinger. Yeah. Dominion came out not too horribly long ago, so yeah. It's already been covered by anyone who like does League of Legends explicitly, but that's like the last game that I play. And with college and work, I do not have time to play League of Legends. So I'm just gonna say I like Dominion. And I also like Classic. I like them both. I'm not sure which one I like better. I like Dominion. I think I like them both equally. Dominion is awesome when you want to play a game, but you don't have a lot of time. Because I've been in standard games where, 3 hours in, it's just finishing the goddamn game. And I've been in Dominion games. I don't think I've played a Dominion game that's lasted like over 20 minutes. It's just, it's like a 15-minute game, and you're done. And it's really nice. It's like, man, I have like 25 minutes of free time. What do I want to do? I'll play Dominion, 5 minutes to queue up and do the character selection and load up, and then 15 minutes to play the game, and it still gives me 5 minutes to, get ready to go do what I had to do. It's really nice. But, yeah. And then your standard is, classic. I mean, let's say you want to play a good 45-minute game. You want to get to the end game. You want to slowly, start out and build that up. And, yeah, they're both really fun. But I play Heimer so that other people don't have a lot of fun. Because that's what I do. And for the most part, even though I'm trying to become a YouTube, person thing, I guess. I want to get on YouTube and I want to have my games. I want to get that Machinima contract and I want to get that YouTube partnership and I want to, make a decent living off of it. I mean, it's what I want to do. I'm gonna stick with having fun for now, but I would not turn down a Machinima contract. No siree. No siree, Bob. No siree, Jim. No siree, water. I couldn't think of anything. So, yeah. So, since I introduced my job a little while ago, just said I had one, didn't really introduce it. Let me introduce it now. I work at Surefine. I am Stockboy. Somebody kill me. Honestly, not the best job in the world. The store manager was the produce manager at Tops. And so, now that he's the store manager of a small town, he thinks that he's so amazing, and he's not. At all. My mom... referencing my mom. My mother was a manager of, Walmart, Wegmans. And, so, yeah. She does not like the store manager of the place I work at. No one does, really. I mean, it's weird. Like, he can be funny and, decent. And you kind of, you like talking to him. But there's also times where it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're, 50, but it's not... just go fuck yourself, alright? Honestly, I think the world would be better if you just took 5 minutes right now, because that's all you'll last, and go fuck yourself. So, I stocked the shelves. Let's spend 5 minutes bitching about my work. Okay, no. Let's just talk about everything that's, really fun and interesting about my work. Dum-dum-dum-dum. Dum-dum-dum-dum. Wow, that didn't take long now, did it? Yeah. Okay, well, let's talk about the things that are not so much fun. I work the night shift. As soon as I get there, every other department leaves. And I have to take care of every department, pretty much. Like the meat department. I now have to stock that. Dairy and freezers. I have to stock that. Every single aisle, I have to face and fill. I have to take care of all of the specials. And if one thing is wrong, it doesn't matter how hard I worked or how much I had on my plate. If one thing is off, I'll hear about it. I mean, I don't take my breaks often because I generally have a lot to do, but the other day I didn't take my break. I worked really hard for a long time. Came in at 2 o'clock. I mean, I only work 6-hour shifts, sometimes 7-hour shifts, but I mean, you can still do a lot in 6 to 7 hours. And I, because usually, while I do have quite a bit to do, I usually do find myself with like 2 or 3 hours where it's just like, man, I can't really think of too much to do right now. I'm feeling a little useless. And then I spend like 10, 15 minutes trying to think of something to do because I don't want to just like go up to a manager and be like, hey, I can't think of anything to do, even though I know there's probably something really obvious to do. My brain is just not liking me today. But I came in that day, I set aside like 2 hours worth of stuff to do that I thought of, and I like logged that away and went to go do my beer list. First thing I do when I come in. I mean, it's like routine. Clockwork. 2 o'clock. People ask where Dean is. Buy the beer. So, I'm doing my beer list. I fill the beer. That's when things get hazy. I have 2 hours of things I set aside for myself to do. Then one of my managers comes up to me and asks me to do something. Actually, they asked me to do 2 things. I start on the one. And then I see another manager who calls me down the aisle and asks me to do something. And so I'd finish the one of the 2 things that the one manager asked me to do, and then I start on what the other manager asked me to do. And then the other manager sees me again and puts another thing on my plate. And this pretty much is how the entire night went, to a point where I didn't complete 5 things that were assigned to me and never even managed to touch the 2 hours worth of things I set aside for myself. And the next day I came in, and it's like, oh, you forgot about putting the sugar on the shelf. No, I didn't. I ran out of time. And then he went off, ran out of time. Like you could run out. And it's like, go fuck yourself. I didn't even take my lunch break. Alright? Go fuck yourself. I worked my ass off that night. All I didn't even get to face the dairy like I was told to at like 2:30. And I left at like 9 o'clock. Alright? That's 7 hours there. I didn't take a single break. What do you want from me? Obviously, I want that sugar put up on the shelf. Whatever. It's not really how the conversation went down, but it's good enough. G-E-D. Good enough. Something that starts with D. Not diploma. So, what to talk about now? Because I know I still have material to talk about, but I feel like I could stop this right here and it would still be a decent enough podcast. But I'm gonna go on. Because I want to. And I will then talk, because we already talked about my age, 19, almost 20. About college. I'm in college. I'm at a community college, 2-year, first semester, and, not doing horrible, but not doing excellent. I have probably a B plus in math, C in biology. I'm fairly confident it will be a B minus, maybe a B plus by the end of the semester, but I think it would just be a B. But if anything, a B minus. It's not going to be in the C's. It's going to be somewhere in the B's. I know that much. But and then Visual Basic, probably going to end with an A. Psychology, no clue. Haven't gotten a grade yet. English, no clue. Haven't gotten a grade yet. So, yeah. And then I had a half semester pass-fail class, which passed, because half semester pass-fail classes are pretty impossible to fail if you actually show up. Like, if someone fails that class, I would pretty much suggest that they should probably leave college and commit suicide. But on that note, because that's not really what I meant to say, I meant to say contemplate committing suicide. Committing suicide. Not really a good idea at all. I mean, if it's really that bad, it's not gonna get any worse. I mean, come on. And hell, go crazy and make it better. I mean, I don't mean go crazy as in, like, go crazy. I mean, like, go crazy as in, like, fuck whatever you've been doing, just have fun. Make everything fun. Work not so much fun, go in there, act crazy. If someone asks you to do something, take it, like, way out of proportion, and, like, yeah, okay! Just, like, way too energized. Eventually you'll find yourself like, man, I'm having fun making everyone else on their heels. I'm devious and an asshole. Oh. And just troll people left and right. I mean, it's actually pretty fun. So, yeah, don't kill yourself, because I do not want to have to talk to another person. Yeah. Speaking of which, if you do think you need a cry for attention, really, no one thinks about this really, but when you go to your friend and you tell them, I'm going to kill myself, and you're all serious, and you're like, I'm gonna kill myself, I have the pills in my hand, or I'm gonna cut my wrists. I mean, this, I've had it. My parents are bullshit. All that shit. Because I've lived through this. Being the one on the phone, who's having my friend tell me all this. You guys, you don't realize it, but this is what you're forcing that person to do. 1, they now have to drop everything they were thinking about and everything they were doing, and they have to commit everything they have to making sure you don't kill yourself. Because even if you're not wholly serious, you might do it. You might still do it. You might just, like, be in the moment. Like, you might just be, like, acting depressed, like, overly depressed more than you are. And you might just be, like, so into the act that, you just fucking go ahead and do it. And, well, 1, because I already did one, this is like 1.A, like, repercussions. Well, you'll be dead, obviously, but that person, for the rest of their life, is probably going to be thinking, why couldn't I have saved him? What did I say that was so wrong? Because I know I've thought that. I know I've been, like, at the end of the phone call, when I'm sure everything's alright now, and I hang up after, like, 4 hours of talking to someone, I know one of my first thoughts is, what if I couldn't have changed that situation? What if they had gone through with it? Oh, fuck. And then I go to sleep, for the most part, because I don't want to have to deal with it. I repress everything. But getting out of the morbidly depressed portion of the podcast and going into, wow, well, there's not really a whole lot of segues from there that I can think of right off the bat. How do you go from don't drop your emotional burden on other people, because fuck, man. Now everything you're feeling, someone else is feeling something akin to that. Or hatred for you. When they're supposed to be your friend. So, just fucking deal with it. Alright? The world would be better if, instead of all this, I'm so depressed, people were just like, you know what? Not having the best time of things, but you know what? Keep it to myself, and I'll just work through it. I'm sure things will get better at some point in time. If people had that kind of mentality, the world would probably be a better place in some places. Yeah, see what I did there? Because I have no clue what I just did there. Well, let's see here. Been talking for an hour. Delicious water. Told you I was gonna do that. You didn't believe me, but I did. So, now let's talk about... Let's go back to World of Warcraft for now. And the reason I play World of Warcraft, and the reason I believe a lot of people play World of Warcraft, is not because I like the PvP, it's not because I like the PvE. I actually play World of Warcraft, for the most part, just to play video games with my friends. I mean, it's fun to play with your friends. It's one of the main reasons I don't play Call of Duty anymore, is, like, I wasn't the best at Call of Duty, but I wasn't the worst, and, like, this was before I was in college. I just had the job. I dedicated, like, 2 weeks to doing nothing but playing Call of Duty, because how I am really good with games, but I usually, like, just play them in such a scattered manner that I'm not one of the greats at any one game, whereas if, like, I did nothing but play that one game for an extended period of time, I would be one of the greats at that game. I'd be, like, like, let's say Thinking's Hard was my tag at Call of Duty. Eventually, people would be like, man, Thinking's Hard is so great. Have you seen him? Did you see what team he got on nowadays? I heard he left that team and is now with this team because, of something that happened. That team is so lucky because they got Thinking's Hard. That's, stuff that would probably happen. But Call of Duty, for the public scene, let me be, explicit about that. For the public matchmaking from Xbox Live, got to a point where I was playing, like, Holiday Doc or Woody's Gamertag. You've seen them play, or CNanners, you've seen them play, where it's like, wow, they just joined that lobby and pretty much just perfect game. They didn't die once, or they died once or twice, but for the most part, they, Tech Dogs, UAV, Blackbird all day long. I got to a point, like, anyone who is mediocre, I mean, you get maybe 10 kills, 10 deaths a game. Net zero, pretty much. Net zero all the time. And it sucks. Your KD spread is like 1.0. Whoop-de-fucking-do. No one's gonna write home to mom about that. Hey mom, guess what? I kill one person every time I die. Woo! But, dear mom. Wow. And I was thinking, because my KD spread was so low, and I didn't join lobbies and just dominate. I was like, man, if I ever played, like, Holiday Doc, or Woody, or CNanners, I would never get bored of this game. It would be so much fun just joining lobby all the time and know that you're gonna have so much fun getting all those skills. Not so much true, it turns out. I joined lobbies left and right, and dominated lobbies left and right. Attack Dogs, Blackbird, UAV all day long. That's all that happened. And I was like, man, this is boring. There's no competition. I don't have to really try. I'm not even trying, and I'm getting Blackbirds and UAVs. I mean, this is boring. But, I mean, I was at a horrible spot where I was too good for public to be any fun anymore, but I wasn't good enough, or I didn't know enough people to start going into the competitive scene. So, I couldn't, and because all of my attempts to go into the competitive scene ended horribly, I just couldn't stay into Call of Duty. So I ended up quitting. I haven't played Call of Duty in a long time. Last time I played Call of Duty, I had been playing for like 4 months, and I just turned on the Xbox, sat down, cross-legged on the floor, because my stepdad was on my computer, on the internet, so I couldn't play on the computer. So I started up Call of Duty, put on the headset, grabbed the controller, joined the first lobby in 4 months. And Attack Dogs, Blackbird, UAV all over the place. I mean, sure, I got a few more deaths and a few less kills than I would have 4 months ago, but for 4 months of atrophied skill, I mean, you stop playing a game for 4 months, pick it up again, and tell me how great you're doing you're gonna fuck shit up. Trust me. I fuck shit up, but just not at the level I thought I was going to. And I was like, it's still's not really that fun. I mean, it's kind of fun because I can only imagine how much they're raging right now, but it's just, it's really not that great. So that's where I got in Call of Duty, and like if I could find a team and like actual play competitively, I'd probably have fun, because the best competitive games, we're going way back into the front of this podcast, the best competitive games and shooters are the ones that are back and forth, like really freaking close, neck and neck the entire game long. Everyone on the team has pretty much the same kill spread. Guy at the top, 8 kills. Guy at the bottom, 6 kills. What? Guy at the bottom, 6 kills. How many deaths does he have? 4. Guy at the top, 8 kills. How many deaths does he have? 6. Seems like that evened out. Funny how that works. But, and like everyone on your team. And that's just like one team. The other team, pretty much exactly the same thing. And, like caps are getting returned at like just the last second. Like, oh my god, he has the flag. He's about to score the winning. No, he got taken out. What's his teammate going to do? Oh no, his teammate got taken out too. And then the guy returns the flag, but he gets taken out. They get the flag. They manage to get it like almost towards their base. They get taken out too. And it's amazing. And it's fun to watch. But it's it's really close. That's all I can say. I've already drilled that point across. So, yeah. Recap of the podcast, I think. I don't know. I don't know how normal podcasts end, to be honest. I don't know how to end this. So I think I'm just going to do a recap and say we started off talking about World of Warcraft and PvP and PvE, and in PvP, epic moments, and a strategy in Warsong Gulch, and then I'm not sure if this is in order, but I know we talked about PvE, World of Warcraft, and look up your class even for just like 30 minutes, because you'll learn so much about it. That way you can perform better in raids and dungeons. And I talked about StarCraft. Talked about you know what? Fuck it. You know what I talked about. You got to this point, didn't you? Alright. Fuck you guys. I am gonna go to sleep, because it's late when I'm doing this. It's not late when you're watching this, I hope. I hope it's not as late as it is now. I'd feel bad for you. Are you an insomniac? I'm not really an insomniac, but as long as I'm on the computer, I just can't really get that sleepy. I could probably stay up all night long if I really wanted to. But I like sleep, so I'm not going to. So, to end this podcast, I think I will go with, this has been Thinking's Hard. This is the first podcast. We still do not have a name for what we're going to call this podcast. And by we, I mean myself, because I'm the only one who's here right now. I'm looking into getting more people to join this. I want this to be a regular thing, a weekly thing, and it would be really nice if I could get some other people to join in on me and talk about things, because it would just be more interesting if I had like 1 or 2 other people here, just, going back and forth. People, maybe we sit down and play a game and just do a podcast while playing the video game casually. Nothing like too competitive, just, maybe we sit down and, on World of Warcraft, like, maybe just assuming that everyone's World of Warcraft, and just go at it. Or maybe, I turn on, Fraps, or not Fraps, but I turn on my audio recording, and everyone's in Skype, and we're talking over the computer, but we're playing, like, Black Ops or Modern Warfare 3, even though I don't have Modern Warfare 3, because I'm broke. Psst. Subscribe and send me money, because I like money. This has been Thinking's Hard, like I just said. And I'm out of here. Have a good night, or a good morning, or even a good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.